Alright, you gamers. You 10.5% of the Splatoon community that actually cares about what abilities are on your gear. We're actually going to discuss the gear, and we're going to talk about why it works, and why it's important, and why are we talking so aggressively? I don't know. Are you ready for a video that's going to be talking about gear coaching? I am! Let's go! Alright. But in all seriousness, guys. Welcome. I think this video is going to be really cool. I'm going to take the N-ZAP 83 today. I'm going to show you my gear set. We're going to play a game of ranked. We're going to see how it goes. And during the match, I'm going to break down piece by piece what the abilities are doing and if they're being helpful or if not. What's important today is showing you what my playstyle looks like with this weapon and seeing what fits best. Keep in mind, your playstyle might be completely different and require a whole different set of gear. But I've got a lot of gear and stats that's just stuck up in this big head of mine, and so I want to share that and my perspective with you, and if you take little bits of knowledge from it, awesome, then you can apply that to your game as well. This is going to be a mix of critiquing the gear, and also there'll be some gameplay things that I'll comment on too, but for now, let's get started and let's actually explain what's going on here. We're playing on zones, so we're playing the N-ZAP 83, we got the Sprinkler and Inkstorm as our sub and special. For the gear, I've got the Special Forces Beret because we wanted to go with more of a run speed kit. If you didn't know, N-ZAP actually has the highest run speed while firing in the game. If there was a foot race between you and every other weapon while firing, you would win. So what we're doing with this kit is we're capitalizing on the N-ZAP's strength. You already move very quick while running, so we're going to make that even better. The Ink Saver main is there simply because I like the outfit, and I always like running Ink Saver main just to have more ink for my weapon. As far as the park is concerned, we've got more run speed, and we're also running MPU. Keep in mind, if you didn't know, main power-up does not always increase damage for a weapon. In the case of the N-ZAP, it actually increases ink coverage by a little bit, and also narrows the accuracy of the firing while you're on the ground. So, this weapon is already built for turfing and running and gunning, so this kit is just making it even better. And for the shoes, we decided to go with Object Shredder, and the reason for that is because the rest of my Object Shredder kits are garbage. They don't really have any good abilities on them. So I went with these shoes. We have Sub Saver just to throw it in there, and we'll see how it goes. This graphic you can find on Splatoon Wiki, and it talks about the different damage values that you get when you use Object Shredder on a weapon or not. And in the case of the N-ZAP 83, because of the damage of the N-ZAP and the Sprinkler and the Inkstorm, you'll notice that in the Ink Armor category, Object Shredder helps this kit immensely. It means that the N-ZAP only needs one hit to take out Ink Armor, whereas normally it would take two. Same with the Sprinkler. And also, if you throw an Inkstorm, your Object Shredder applies to that Inkstorm, and instead of a person needing to sit in that Inkstorm for 1.25 seconds to get rid of armor, it destroys their ink armor in 0.4 seconds, less than half a second. That's so fast. So this kit is really built for destroying armor if the other team has it. And all you need is just the N-ZAP and Object Shredder, nothing else. Those are just the two main things. So this kit is very easy to build, and it's very effective at taking out armor if you find that's a problem. So already you can see that I don't run and gun. It's not my playstyle. If you look, I'm swimming and then going up and down. The N-ZAP was built to just hold the trigger and run. You just run forward and you hold it down. You don't need to swim, especially with the run speed. I don't have a lot of special charge up. In fact, I don't have any. So trying to build my special, my Inkstorm is about 2/3 of the way there. My team is already on the point, but the main power up is giving me a little bit more ink coverage per shot, but it's only doing about 5% extra. It's not really doing too much. I know that's interesting. I placed sprinklers a lot more in this match than I thought I would. And I was using them specifically on the backside of these walls, especially in Port Mackerel, because there's so many linear hallways. And one important thing that I discovered was it's actually really beneficial to put it higher up, because when a person is walking through the hallway, if the sprinkler is at eye level, they're just going to shoot it off the wall. It's not going to be that big of a deal. But if it's up high, suddenly they have to look up, they have to figure out where it is, and they're pulling their aim away from the ground, away from where you might be. So I think going forward in this, you'll see me place a couple sprinklers on the wall just to put ink coverage and have like a little safety spot for my team. But all in all, it would be best if they're placed higher, just in general. That was a good shot. Here I see that the charger's here, and this charger like blasted me the last time. So I'm immediately giving him respect. I'm not leaving my head here to get blown off. I immediately duck for cover because I'm not going to take a death from him again. One interesting decision, a gameplay decision that comes from this too, is when I decide to move forward, I would say I make the mistake of dropping into this little alleyway. What I should have done was jumped across to this platform right here, because then I get a wider angle. I'll show you what I mean. I drop down here, and you can already see both my views are, I've got blinders on, proverbially. If I could have jumped across and gone onto this box right here, I would have been able to see the whole playing field. I would have seen what was in front of me. I didn't die from this. I didn't get killed from this, but I can see in a future situation where making that decision would have been life or death, because I didn't see somebody flanking from the left or the right. So just a gameplay perspective. Running from the Stingray, that's fine. Using a sprinkler on the wall to create a permanently inked surface for me to climb up to in case of emergency. I could have placed that on the ground too in case I need a spot to jump down to. Typically, when I play, I don't go for as many kills. I intentionally turn around and I cover the backside of my team's backline. This is just me. When I play Overwatch or when I play other games, I'm a support person. I'm usually a healer of some variety. When I'm playing Team Fortress 2, I play medic. That's just how I play. So in Splatoon, that mindset carries over, and I'm usually one to focus on covering turf for my team so that they can move, they can navigate, and they can do their jobs. I'm not as focused as much on killing. So I drop back a little bit to make sure that our backline is covered, and as it turns out, my team needs to retreat. I didn't really realize this during the game, but now that I think about it, we've got an ink storm coming in. We've got a person who's about to splash down. If this backline wasn't covered, maybe my team would have gotten caught out and gotten damage from it. I don't know. But I feel like that was a wise decision. Again, just covering for, even with the bomb spam, just covering to give my team some turf. This decision right here, so there's a point sensor in front of me. Obviously, the answer is, Matt, don't stand in point sensor. But for whatever reason, I see this wall ahead of me and I'm like, oh, that looks like a pretty place to put a sprinkler. And so then I end up going forward to throw the sprinkler, but then I also get myself censored as well. Okay, not that kind of censored. Come on, I got the point sensor on me. And usually you wouldn't think that's that big of a deal. But then they pop Stingray. They pop Stingray, and my location is being revealed. So, a little bit dangerous. I end up surviving, but I'm telling you, little micro decisions like that sometimes could be the difference between life and death. If that Stingray had more special power-up to maybe make the Stingray last longer, that could have been my death. Here's where, again, I'm not really running and gunning, I'm just swimming, and I don't have any special charge up, but I'm still getting my special before the next re-engagement begins. However, I feel like this is pretty important from a gameplay perspective. I see that two of my teammates are down. My E-leader and my sloshing machine are resetting. We have lost control of the zone at this point. So I'm working with the dually squelchers. We're trying to find some space, but the dually squelchers go down. At this point, I am the only one here. Even if I have my special, I personally don't feel like there's any reason for me to engage yet. I decide to stay back, again, get turf from my team so that they can navigate, and then once we do a re-engagement, then I use my Ink Storm. The other team's poking. At this point, our team is back. I'm still getting turf. I've got my special clear, so I think we're ready to re-engage with the special. But at this point, we got 2 kills at the top. My Ink Storm's going in, and we're able to retake the zone because we went in together. We went in at the same time. Yeah. I just got cut out there. What could I have done in that situation? Anything from a gameplay perspective or anything from a gear perspective? The tricky part is that I'm stuck in enemy ink. I can't swim. So in this case, one thing that helps you is ink resistance. Ink resistance is an ability that allows you to walk on enemy ink for a very short period of time and take less damage from it. So maybe with my combination of run speed, if I had had a little bit of ink resistance in here, I might have been able to stand up, run and shoot back a little bit, maybe even jump a little bit to get myself out more quickly. But the Squiffer has probably outranged me at this point. If they were any closer, I think I could have taken some ink resistance, used that, and made it a fair fight. But at this point, I think they've safely outranged me, and unfortunately, this was just a death. It's okay. From a gameplay perspective, let's actually go back for a second. What was my special at? Okay, so my special for Inkstorm when I died was about, maybe a third. So in this case, once I actually get to the respawn, you can see I have about a quarter. So having a little bit of special saver is a thing that reduces the amount of special that's removed from you when you die, and having a little bit of special saver can go a long way. As you can see in this chart has almost a linear amount of special that you are able to save just by using one sub of special saver, so it's actually really helpful to maybe just run one. In this case, would it have made the difference? No, because if we go back to the map, there's some places that that are left unturfed that I can probably get my special on my way in, but keep this in mind. The later you are in the game, the more turf that your team is going to have covered with your own ink, and the less likely you're going to be able to get a special charged up on your way back into the map. So special saver is not just a should I use it or should I not? Special saver is actually something that's really, really helpful late game. Later in the match, when most of the turf is covered and you don't have a lot of turf to use to charge your special, then the more special that you're able to save at your death, the less that you have to have when you're entering that respawn and moving back in, and the higher chance you'll have of getting that special when you're actually ready to re-engage with your team. So if you expect that there's going to be a longer match, or maybe there's a smaller map where you don't have as much turf to use to charge your special, maybe for those maps you decide to run a little bit of special saver to help you on your respawns. And also, if we really wanted to dig into the specifics here, notice the difference in Notice the difference in turf coverage between our two teams. Our team spawn is very well covered, so we don't have as much turf to work with to recharge our specials. But you look at the enemy team, and you look at all these alleyways that they haven't covered yet. So what this indicates to me is they could charge their specials a lot faster than we have. Granted, they haven't taken advantage of this non-turfed territory, but it's just something to keep in mind from a gameplay perspective. Does it really matter at the end of the day? Probably no. Probably no, but it's something to remember. Same kind of deal. Not using special charge up, and there wasn't a lot of turf to work with, so you can already see that I'm only at 2/3 of my special. All right, so in the last little bit of the match, I'll show you a specific instance when main power-up might have actually helped me, and maybe a little bit more main power-up could have made the difference, but we'll see. Let me show you what happens first, and then we'll break it down. So I'm pushing up again to try and get turf on the enemy team, but then the charger gets caught out of position, and I have him in my sights. I only get 3 hits on him. So in this case, the charger's here, far enough away from me that it's not at max range for the N-ZAP, but it's kind of close. And you'll notice that when I start to shoot, one shot there, and both of those shots miss. My third shot hits him right there. So that's 1 hit, 2, 3, and then my 4th shot misses wide on the left, and also the 5th shot. And this is when, and you can also see that he's back into the center of my reticle. I'm running, I'm not jumping, my accuracy hasn't bloomed because of jumping at all. The question here, would more main power-up, which tightens up my accuracy a little bit, would that make a difference in getting this kill or not? I think it just comes down to aim. I don't think that any more main power-up would have helped. Did the 3 subs of main power-up that I had, did that help me? Honestly, I was running and aiming, and that's what the accuracy helps with, and it was kind of at the max range of the N-ZAP, so there's a chance that, yeah, like that main power-up made a difference, maybe between getting 3 hits instead of 2 in this case. But I don't think any more would have really made that big of a difference. So that's what's going through my head as far as gear is concerned. We ended up getting the win, which is awesome. I personally didn't get a lot of kills. I got maybe like 3. But I did get 5 specials. So I got 4 kills. I got 5 specials, which helped the team overall. And we had 3 Ink Storms for a Zones match. That's really quite good. And we also finally ranked up. We got that bar raised up and it's not sitting there anymore. Yay! So overall, would there, like I said before, are there changes that I would make? Yes. I would probably get rid of the ink saver main and the sub saver because I was being really efficient with my ink. I would probably get more special charge up. Even though I had a lot of specials and I was doing a lot in that category, I'd probably get some more special charge up so I could have ink storm more frequently. I could even throw on maybe some special power up to increase the duration of the ink storm to make it last for longer, especially on a long linear map like Port Mackerel. I probably would have changed the run speed to swim speed, even though run speed is the best with the N-ZAP, because you can walk really fast, it doesn't match with my play style. And this is why I'm doing this coaching video, is to show you and say, just because someone tells you that like this is the best does not mean that it's the best for you. It depends on your playstyle. It depends on how you use the weapon. So for me, you saw me dodging and diving and switching positions a lot. I didn't need the run speed for running and gunning just because that's not how I play. I'm not an N-ZAP main by any chance. If I was an N-ZAP main and I worked with it more in practice, I would probably coach myself and get used to the idea of, oh, I need to run and gun. I need to be moving and shooting at the same time, essentially. The other thing is, honestly, ink recovery. I know that I put ink recovery on blast a lot because I'm like, you know, when would you ever need ink recovery? That doesn't make sense because it's not really useful for anything. But based on my playstyle and watching how I'm always like in the ink looking for enemies and watching sight lines and being aware of my team and repositioning around while swimming, ink recovery would help me recover my ink tank a lot faster, and maybe that would be better than having those abilities of ink saver main and sub saver. And maybe I could throw on some other stuff. So I wouldn't make too many changes besides that. This was a really good game. In the future, I want to hopefully show off an Object Shredder N-ZAP 83 game where we are facing against some armor comps. Maybe we'll take the suggestions that I made for myself and see how that applies to a future game, and we'll hopefully get to show off some of the Object Shredder as well. But in the meantime, guys, if you have a way of recording your game, I understand that this is probably just limited to people who have capture cards and are able to capture their gameplay using a screen recording software. But even if you have a clip and you just show me what gear you're using and you show me a clip of something that happens, I'd love to do more coaching videos for you guys and look at your stuff too. So this is an open invitation. If you have a gear video, if you have a game that you want to show me what happens, please find a way to send it to me. You can send it to me on Discord. You can upload I think the easiest way is to upload your clip to your YouTube channel and then just save it as an unlisted video and send me that unlisted video link, and then we can go from there. I love this stuff. It's very hard for me to make really dedicated gear videos because it goes through a lot of information that I have all dumped up in here. But to make these applicable to you and to also look at your playstyle and see how these fit, this is what I love to do. I think this will work really well. So please, in the comment section, let me know if you have a video that you're trying to post and where you're trying to post it. I'll keep an eye out. In the meantime, thank you. If you have any questions about this, put that in the comment section as well. And I'll hopefully get another one of these soon because this is really fun. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I'll catch you soon. Bye-bye!